I was talking about like personal manifestation as a kind of a thing that, you know, I think that everybody can use out there in order, you know, to get their dreams to the next level, you know, and this really applies to everything. You just got to break it down. Break it down. You got to figure out what you want. And when you know what you want, what you're really going to want to know, I'm going to give you the ultimate secret. You don't figure this out until you're way past 40. In order to know what you want, okay, you have to figure out everything that you don't want, and then and only then are you going to be left with what you need, okay? Now, you think about that for like 1 second. Think about that and think about that good. At the end of your life, or at the end of a life, you're going to figure out what all your mistakes were, and that's called experience. So some things you would do and other things you wouldn't. And if you know everything that you don't want, then when you do find something that you need and that you want, you're going to know, because it's going to flow like butter, and it's just going to be part of you. You're going to know it right away. Let's talk about friends for a second, okay? Everybody wants to have friends, and a lot of people have friends, and some people have lots of friends, you know what I mean? And other people have like no friends, you know, because they either can't find some, or they're just solo, or, you know, they just like to hang out with one person. Some people's friends are happy for you when something's going to happen, you know, something good, say. And some of your other friends are not going to be happy with you. And those are the people that kind of hold you down, you know? My girlfriend, actually, who's like a great person who inspires me and has taught me so much in my life, you know, had said to me one time that if a person doesn't like either inspire you or make you laugh, or, you know, you can go out and work out with them, they make you spiritual, or, you know, or they can't be your business partner, then what the hell are they doing in your life? I thought about that, and I said, wow, that is amazing. You're right, because there's so many people, you know, some people love the soap opera. They love the soap. So what happens is when you're wasting all this time on a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really matter, then you have to say to yourself, oh my God, there's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and then I started working backwards. Let's figure out everything I don't want, and then you'll wind up with what you need. That's how you accumulate the right friends and the right people. So I started just cutting people right out of the mix. You, I'm sorry, you're really funny, we laugh, but you're always knocking on my door, we're getting together, you're hanging out for hours instead of me doing work and doing stuff. I have no more time for this stuff. Some people are bloodsuckers, they're just using you. Like, I find it hard to believe that people actually do stuff like that, but I've been victim, as many of you guys probably have, to stuff like that. And every time I uncovered somebody that I thought was a really close friend or a working partner thing, and they're not anymore, then you have to ask yourself, what happened? You're in shock. It's like, whoa, time. We only have X amount of time. So if your friends are wasting your time and you guys are not there to go somewhere together, regardless of whether, you know, you have the same dream or not, or the same goal or not, you know, somebody who has kids is going to think different than somebody who doesn't have kids. I'm a big supporter of learning and people who want to do things. But at one point, you can't hang out with everybody. Somebody who's been your friend for years and stuff has actually been holding you back from your dream. And you can't help him or her if you can't help yourself. The second you change environmentally something, what you're doing, other opportunities in the universe unlock, and then they come to you, because we're like big magnets. We attract stuff, we attract people, we attract situations, and we sabotage ourselves. You have the power to decide what you want and what you don't want. You have the power to figure out what it is you want to be when you grow up. Relationships, personal relationships. A good personal relationship, like I've been in the same relationship with the same girl for like going on to 23 years. I still look at this person like I met her yesterday, and she still looks at me the same way, and I'm blessed with that. We don't have any kids, but our kids is our creations, and everything that we learn together at all times. Every time we learn something new together, it's like, wow, you know, we just gave birth to a new baby. I've seen a lot of couples and a lot of people in relationships, and they're always searching for something better when they've got the right thing maybe right in front of them. If you can't hack it, then like you don't commit. And if you do commit, you have to go to the end of things and understand that things are not always as rosy as they seem. As long as you have mutual respect for each other, you can work things out. And it's easier to give up than it is to not give up. It's really important that, you know, in a relationship that the people encourage each other. You could have somebody who's a lawyer and the other guy's a rock star and they're married and they got two totally different lives, but they totally get along because they're both professionals and they have their own schedules. But then you got the kind of people where one person is professional and say one isn't. They get along great when they're behind closed doors, but when the person's got to go out and do his art or her art, then it presents a problem. Jealousy, unloyalness, all this stuff that everybody's got to go through. It's a full-time fucking job. A relationship is an additive to what we all are to become when we grow up, right? So why is the relationship another full-time job if it's going to be a big problem, right? It's like going to a job that you really don't want to do. Your relationship needs to be at point. If you let it go, it's just the most amazing, incredible feeling when you get your goals. Another thing that's really important, right, is the we factor. That's what we'd like to call it over here. The second we see a bunch of people coming in here and saying, me this, me that, me this, me that, I warn them after once or twice. If it happens more than that, I use the cutoff syndrome. Cut, you're gone. I never want to see you again. Because if you do that in front of me, what the hell are you doing behind my back? That's called insecurity. A lot of that stuff in relationships. That's got to be like controlled because, you know, fortunately I'm surrounded with people that I know that when I'm not around, they're only could be saying good things behind my back. And me the same for them. That is the kind of comfort that I think everybody should be looking for. It's simple. Everything is simple. There's no magic, giant equation formula for this stuff. Here's one. Don't do what you don't want done to yourself. Everybody's heard that one before. What a simple, simple, simple concept. So when you lock all that together and you follow these little breakdowns of these things that I'm like kind of pointing out, I think that this shit really works.